Hi everyone, thanks again for coming back to my channel, Crocheting Around My Kitchen Table, because you'll inadvertently hear something like dogs, kids, people. So this is my cute little mini wreath. I love wreaths. I have a deep love of wreaths. There's a cute story behind that. I don't know how cute you might find it, but it certainly is a motivation for coming up with a different way of loving the things that you love without causing too much dramatics and certainly room and space issues. So without further ado, let's get started, because I know you want to get started on crocheting. You're going to need worsted weight yarn. We're going to use, this is Red Heart Super Saver Wildflower. It's a worsted weight yarn. You're going to need some bangles. You just need one. If you're going to make one, if you're going to do this for events, you'll definitely need more. I'm using about a 4-inch one, and I like to upcycle, so I found some of these bangles at like a thrift shop in a bag, and I said, you know what, I'm going to make a wreath out of these. And then I'm going to use an eye hook. You can choose to weave in the ends, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to knot mine, and your scissors. So let's get started. I'm going to start with my slip knot. I like to place the slip knot, and of course start your slip knot how you like. Okay, I'm going to put the bangle or the plastic rings. You can certainly find any rings you feel comfortable using. I just prefer sometimes when I have things that I can recycle and use, that I can do that. Just use it, repurpose it. So you saw what I did there. I put the bangle on first. I put my slip knot on there. It's a little iffy bringing it back up. Bring your slip knot through. Okay, it's on this side. So we had the bangle, the slip knot, and just bring the slip knot onto the other side, the inside, towards you, and the yarn that's attached to the ball of yarn, and then we're just going to slip stitch that right on there, and that anchors it in place. And don't worry about it moving. So it's pretty simple. In this first round, we're just going to single crochet all the way around. Depending on the size that you choose to use for your hook, using worsted weight, single crocheting all the way around. I want to say it's a 3-inch bangle. I make about 40 that goes all the way around, between 40 and 45. Again, it depends on your worsted weight, because we all know they have different gauges and thickness. And like the scrunchie, it does take a little maneuvering. You're just crocheting around the bangle, creating this nice, pretty, even stitch around. I try not to crowd them, but I do move them along so I can fit 40 to 45. Again, the more you put on there, the more curly and fuller your wreath will be. Okay, so just continue that. Oh, I love how this color is working out. Very, very pretty. Just continue all the way around, and I'll meet you back here. Okay, so we have finished the first round of single crochet. We've come to the very beginning. What we're going to do is not slip stitch into the top V. We're going to slip stitch into that first loop of the very first single crochet. Just find that. Tuck your needle under there so we can slip stitch it and end the round. Just like that. And I put about 44, because the yarn was different than previous ones that I used 40. You can put as many as you want, but I don't like to crowd them and overlap them because I like the smooth look of it. All right, from here, we're going to start making our wreath. So we're going to chain 7, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7, and you're going to slip stitch that into the next single crochet. In just the front loop, we're going to leave the backs alone because we're going to go back around the second time, or third time if you don't count that single crochet. And just slip stitch in there. And that's why I said to make it kind of loose, so you're able to find them and they're not so tight. I still have to count sometimes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. You can put as many loops as you want, however big you like it. I just like the way this looks, and it's about 5 inches across. You can certainly shorten the chain if you like. And just continue to put it into that front loop and slip stitch it. Just like that. And I will meet you back here at the very last stitch of the first round so we know where to go to next. Okay, so we're here at the end of our first round, and then we're going to just do the chain 7, slip stitch, and that is the slip stitch that we did on the first one when we ended that first round, from the single crochet to that. So from here we're going to chain 7 again, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Sorry, I'm mumbling. And then we're going to turn it to the back and find that first one. See where that first loop starts? We're going to go right into the back loop of that V-stitch from that single crochet and just slip stitch into that. So we're just going to do a continuous chain 7 all the way around to okay. Find the next one, and because you did a looser single crochet, you're able to get to those without them being uber tight. You just have to worry about the string catching. And you're just going to continue your chain 7 and go right into the back loop of that stitch and just slip stitch right into it. Okay, and I'll meet you back here when you've reached the end here. Okay, we are here in the last chain 7. We're going to find the back end of our turn. This was the front of that last stitch from the previous row, and we did that crossover, so this is the one right behind it. Kind of pulled on it a little bit so we can see that. We're going to slip stitch the last one, and then I'm going to go into these two, which is the back of the front one and the back one, and join those two together so we can finish this row just like that. Slip stitch it, chain 1, because what we're going to do next is I want you to chain 36. Now, you could always end it here, or you can choose to do the hanger, and you can do the hanger any way you want to. I'm going to chain 35 because I like the way it looks from my doorknob and the way it looks from the hanger. It's not too long, it's not too short, and it's pretty flexible enough to fit any doorknob or hanger you might have. And I will come back when I'm done counting and finishing my 35 chain. Okay, I'm done doing my 35 chain. I'm going to find out where I started the chain right there and just slip stitch that into there. Okay. Somehow this chain got on the wrong side. Okay. And then just chain one so we can close that off. Let me use my scissors here. Oh, I cut off a little bit too big of a piece. And then just pull through. Tighten that up a bit. Sorry, that got a little focused on my hand. Okay. We have a little hanger there. And we are essentially done. You need to do, what I like to do on the back of this is pull this one back to back here where it belongs, the little knot. And then I like to just tie it together. Just like that. And then another knot. Here we go. Double knot there. Okay, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut that right there, right there. I like to go back later and put a dab of glue to the knot or clear nail polish. Either way is good. That way it stays. And there is your cute little wreath. So here's your finished mini wreath. I think I might leave it like this with this color because I like the color combinations. And yes, that's our cat. The lime reminds me of leaves. I might put a butterfly button or a bee button somewhere. I just have to be mindful of where I put it because I can't put it on the edges or it'll hang funny or be too heavy. So I probably use one of the other loops to support it, the weight. So this mini wreath came about of my love of wreaths. I love door wreaths. I think it's amazing when people can make things sing with ribbon and a hoop. I think people are very creative and talented. So a few years back, I put mine out. A mama bird decided to put her nest there with her eggs, and they hatched. We did everything to support her by placing signs for delivery people not to place packages near the nest so she'd come back and feed them. Then we would have people walk through the garage so we wouldn't disturb them. One morning we woke up to a bunch of feathers. A nocturnal predator came by during the night and thought that my wreath was a drive-through window and decided to have a midnight meal. That was unpleasant. Lots of feathers to clean up. So the year after, I had to throw that one away because the birds do carry lice. But I didn't mind because, you know, it just gave me an opportunity to buy another wreath. So the next year, I put it out, and she came back, put her nest in, her eggs, and this time they managed to thrive, and they left the nest and were flailing around, and we thought, oh boy, we hope we don't come across a predator having a snack on them because they were learning how to fly. So that prompted me just to make something that I could put on the inside. I turned my hanger on the inside and I made a small one, and I don't have to store them in closets because they're so big, and I can enjoy having one for every month if I want to. So I went ahead and embellished my spring one with the first one you saw, which was rhinestones and a little ribbon. Now the ribbon can get heavy. I would just be mindful of the weight you want to put on these and where you're placing things so that it hangs right. You can even hang something down the middle with a little charm. That would be cute. I did a Christmas one, the first one I did. This is super bulky. I chained 4 using a J hook. and just attached yarn on the inside. It didn't sit right. See if you see it like this. I don't know. I just didn't think it looked right. It doesn't fall right like it does with worsted weight because it's very thick. So I didn't even chain it up here because it was very, very thick. Just simple. I might wait for Christmas in July and see what the stores have. I might put like little frosted red berries sporadically. Rhinestones, that would be really pretty. You can put appliques because it's light enough. I put these, I tacked them on, and I glued them so that they would stay up like this. We have our little shamrock and a little 4-leaf clover, and I added the gold rhinestones because it just reminded me of coins. So that is my wreath that I love to hang in my house on doorknobs. Thanks again for watching Crocheting Around My Kitchen Table. Please be sure to subscribe if you want to know when my new videos of patterns and tutorials get uploaded. Thanks again for watching.